Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to unpack exactly how to build true, lasting passive income. If you're an investor, you probably realize just how incredibly easy it is to fall into those common yield traps. Well, we're going to look at a super fascinating recent analysis from the Motley Fool UK. We'll be diving deep into the mindset of one of the absolute greatest investors of all time, and we'll figure out how we can apply his historical success to today's markets. The goal? To help you construct a portfolio that actually works for you while you sleep.
Okay, so let's just dive right in by tackling the ultimate dilemma that basically every single passive income investor faces at some point. Do you chase high yields right now, today? Or do you settle for strong underlying growth with starting returns that are, let's be honest, usually painfully low? It's that classic tug-of-war, right? Needing cash in your pocket now versus building real wealth for the future. Honestly, it's a psychological battle just as much as a financial one.
And this setup here brilliantly illustrates the trap we so often fall into. On one side, you've got high yields. Sure, they look absolutely fantastic on paper, but they usually carry massive, sometimes completely hidden risks. A sky-high yield is very often a glaring red flag that a stock's price is completely tanked because the actual business is in deep trouble. Then, on the other side, you have these incredibly safe, strong prospects. But the catch? They leave you with practically zero cash in hand today. It really feels like you're forced to make a painful sacrifice either way.
Section 1. Buffett's Secret Sauce.
To understand how to actually escape this trap, let's look at Warren Buffett's absolutely legendary investment in Coca-Cola. Just get a load of this number, 50%. Let me put this into perspective for you because it's wild. As of 2025, Coca-Cola returns over 50% of Berkshire Hathaway's initial $1.3 billion investment in pure cash every single year. You could literally buy a lot of soda with that. Half of the initial purchase price just handed back annually. It's almost unfathomable when you think about typical market returns today.
Now, obviously, this didn't just happen overnight. Buffett started way back in 1990 with a relatively modest 5.5% yield, which, is good, but it's certainly not mind-blowing. However, thanks to the consistent, rock-solid underlying business growth of Coca-Cola over 3 whole decades, those cash returns just snowballed. The business grew, the payouts grew, and boom, by 2025, he hits that staggering return of greater than 50% annually. It is literally the ultimate lesson in the power of compound growth over time.
But here is the real kicker, the absolutely crucial point. Buffett didn't even need to reinvest his dividends into more Coke shares to get these returns. We're always taught to use a dividend reinvestment plan or a DRIP to continuously compound our wealth, right? But in this specific case, the compounding and growth came entirely from the business itself expanding. Because he didn't have to endlessly reinvest those dividends just to keep his stake growing, it freed up billions in cash for Berkshire Hathaway to use on completely different investments. That right there is the true definition of a cash cow.
Section 2. A modern example? InterContinental Hotels Group.
So, how on earth do we apply this incredible history lesson today? Well, we can look at a prominent FTSE 100 stock that, according to the Motley Fool analysis, possesses this exact same secret sauce: InterContinental Hotels Group, or IHG. If we look at their numbers, they are seriously compelling. They've managed to grow revenues by 12.5% a year over the last decade. But the absolute magic here is that they used almost zero cash to achieve this growth. How is it even possible for a massive global hotel chain to expand without spending mountains of cash? The secret lies entirely in their franchise business model.
This franchise breakdown is exactly why they are so wildly profitable. It's a 3-step process. Step 1, IHG provides the brand, the marketing, and that massive booking infrastructure. Step 2, independent owners are the ones who actually buy, build, and operate the physical properties. Which leads us to Step 3. IHG adds brand new hotels to its global network and collects fees at almost zero capital cost to themselves. They don't have to buy the real estate. They don't even have to buy the mattresses for the beds. They just sit back and collect the franchise revenue. It is a brilliantly light capital structure.
Now, if you're a traditional income investor, you might look at a stock screener and see this number, 1.4%. At first glance, that dividend yield looks absolutely tiny. For folks seeking immediate passive income to, pay bills today, a 1.4% yield might turn them off immediately. Actually, they probably just scroll right past it. It feels exactly like that strong prospects but low initial return trap we discussed earlier, making it incredibly tempting to just go looking for something with a much higher immediate payout. But hold on, because there is a serious hidden layer of value here,
Because IHG requires so little cash to actually grow, they return almost all their excess cash to shareholders through massive share buybacks. When a company buys back its own stock, the remaining shares become inherently more valuable because that entire pie is being divided into fewer slices. What this means is investors can essentially create their own dividend, earning an extra 4.5% a year by just selling off a few shares, all without even reducing their overall percentage stake in the business. Suddenly, that tiny 1.4% yield is functionally much higher.
Of course, we have to look at the whole picture objectively and impartially weigh the stated risks of the market right now. There are absolutely some real short-term headwinds out there. The source notes that macroeconomic factors, like potential tariffs from the incoming Trump administration or ongoing global conflicts, well, they could trigger a recession and hit global travel demand. But you have to weigh those short-term economic realities against the fact that IHG's stock has dropped about 11% since the start of the year. For the patient investor, this dip could potentially offer a rare and really valuable buying window into a highly efficient business.
Section 3. The long-term mindset.
Let's bring this all together by connecting the dots between Buffett's historical, decades-long success with Coca-Cola and our modern, capital-light example of IHG. As this quote from the Motley Fool analysis perfectly summarizes, true success is the result of finding a great business and holding shares for the long term. The actual secret sauce to passive income isn't frantically chasing immediate high yields, and it definitely isn't jumping in and out of the market. It's finding a fundamentally great business, one with a built-in ability to grow without eating up all its own cash, and then having the extreme, unshakable patience to just hold it through the market cycles.
So, as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with this one big question to ponder for your own portfolio. Are you willing to suppress the urge for a quick payout today, to let a truly great business build your ultimate passive income machine for tomorrow? Thanks so much for joining me as we explored these insights, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.